I get everything cleared out as far as snow and being able to set up a tent, I'm going to go through quickly what I've got in my bag of goodies here. Again, this is my preference. I'm sure I'll get plenty of feedback on this, but again, this is my preference and how I like to set up. So if you take one piece of information out of this and it benefits you out when you're out hiking and camping, fantastic. All right, so here we go. Like I said before, I like the comforts of a tent now. Like I said, I've done the rough thing, the negatives as far as 30 below zero, and again, it is no fun. Sleeping bag inside a sleeping bag, all your food freezes, all your drink freezes, your batteries freeze. It's just a big pain in the neck. So I've made some changes throughout the years and adapted. Like I said, I've gone on YouTube and looked and got other information from other people. It's a wealth of information out there, so make sure you access that. All right, so let's get to it. Obviously, I just got done digging this whole thing out. I got myself a, what I use this for is the interior of the tent. You can pick it up at Walmart for like 10 bucks. It's a floor carpet, so to speak. It's a moving blanket is what it actually is. And I'll use that to pad the floor. It also protects the floor from any stupid, idiotic things that I tend to do. Bring my keys in, sit down, and puncture the bottom of the tent. Like that never happens, right? So that, I use that for the bottom, the flooring. And then of course I got my floor footprint that goes on the bottom of the tent to protect the floor. I got my 20-pound cylinder. Please don't laugh. And no, I do not lug this up a mountain. This is strictly campground or something I could sled in, something easy. I'm not going to lug up a 20-pound cylinder. This is for my little buddy, and I'll show you how that all pans out. I also have my, obviously, my pride and joy, my Marmot tent, and a new update to my repertoire. I got a nice, one of my friends gave me this a little while ago as a present. It is the Thermarest Mondo King extra large. I told you I'm going comf, and this sucker is all of that. It is all comf, and I'll walk you through that as soon as I get to it. Backpack's got all my goodies into it. Something new that I've added to the family. So with a 20-pound cylinder, let me give an explanation real quick. What I did here was I took my little buddy, and so was it last weekend? I was camping out with another buddy of mine, and it was cold. It ended up being down near zero again. And when I refill my 1-pound cylinders, the little green ones there, it doesn't quite fill them up like the factory does, and it tends to run out a whole lot quicker. You're supposed to get like 6.5 hours per can. I got not even close to that. I probably got maybe 3 hours. So every 3-4 hours, I'm unplugging, screwing the canister off, redoing it, resetting this up, and of course at 3 o'clock in the morning you feel like sleeping and not messing around with things like that. Then your tent tends to cool down, and it's just a big pain in the butt. So what I ended up doing is making myself, again, go on YouTube. You can look up different methods. This has just happened to be mine. I took the hose, and you can see under here, I'll probably get a closer shot later on when we get inside the tent. I had it built right into here, and this keeps my little buddy on top stable, and I mean stable. It will go nowhere. And I'll run it off the 20-pound cylinder, so I will not be running out in the middle of the night and having to worry about my tent cooling off, and I don't have to worry about changing out a canister every 3 or 4 hours. It's just a nuisance. So again, I try to make it more comfy, and this is my new bad boy. So, and then of course I got my backpack full of all my other stuff that I'm going to need, my batteries, my fans, and again, once I get the tent all set up, I'll walk you all through what I got going on in this baby too. All right, let's set up the tent. I'm going to walk you through the sleeping setup of how I do the interior of the tent. I'll walk you through some of the gear that I have, not in great depth, but just to give you a kind of an overview of what I use during the wintertime for my sleep gear. All right, here we go. This is the blanket I was telling you about. Pick it up at Walmart for like 10 bucks. Basically just for people use it for moving furniture and so on. I use it for the base layer. It keeps some of the warmth in the tent. Not a whole lot, but it also, for what I use it for mainly, is just to give another layer of protection to for the floor itself, so I don't puncture it with my stupidity being leaving my keys attached to my pants, and I'll sit in here and possibly puncture a hole or some of the equipment that I wasn't prepared for that have sharp edges. So extra layer of protection for the floor. This is my new addition to the my camping setup, and this is the Thermarest Mondo King 3D. A good friend of mine got this for me just a short while ago, and this thing is awesome. All right, so this thing is like 4 inches thick. It has an R value of 7, so you can use this year round. It also is 80 inches long and 30 inches wide. So this thing, I know it takes up a little bit more room than my other Thermarests, but this one is so thick and so comfortable. I actually prefer it over my own bed. This thing is just fantastic. I can't say enough about it. Again, it's not something I'm going to lug up a mountain, obviously. This is definitely for campground camping or backyard camping, or somewhere where you can sled in, because it is like a little over 5 pounds, so it does weigh quite a bit. But I'm telling you what, if you want the comfort of home in your winter surrounding tent, then by all means, this is the way to go. This thing is just fantastic. And for my sleeping bag for the winter, now I've got several sleeping bags. I've got an Alaskan Guide 40 below sleeping bag, which is what I use when I don't have a heating system. But now that I've been using a heating system, I haven't been using that. It is just way overkill for what I need. This is kind of middle of the road. This is a Marmot Sawtooth 15-degree bag. I don't use this in the summertime, as this is extremely hot. It'll keep you warm for sure, but I've had this thing in the -5 below zero, and I threw in some hand warmers, and I'm telling you, I was toasty. This thing is fantastic. I love this. And they also put a foot of down at the very end for your feet. They discontinued this model for as soon as I bought it. It was gone, and I just got lucky on this one, as they were doing a clearance sale on it, and I've had this since 2012, and it has served me very well. I love this bag. And then I have my LL Bean 30-degree bag, which is, when it starts getting up around 30-40 degrees, and if I'm going to use the heat in here, I'll use that bag, because this one actually becomes overkill as well. Then I've got another luxury from home, My Pillow. I love this. This pillow, just fluff it up, and oh, this thing is great. So this is my sleeping setup. Again, the flooring, the mattress, the bag, and the pillow is another comforts of home, if you will. And the more I do this, the more I enjoy the comforts of home out and camping. All right. In a minute, I'm going to walk you through how I set up the rest of the tent, some of the gear I bring. I'm not going to get into the mountain climbing gear in the winter. I'll do that at a different time, but more along the lines of what I bring into the tent for the comforts of the tent itself. All right. Now we have my new, or new to me anyhow, heating system. So, like I said before, the little buddy comes with a stand, kind of little tipsy, not that great. Although it does have a tip hazard. If it tips over, it will shut off. The little buddy also comes with an oxygen sensor, so that's a nice added bonus. Also, so what I ended up doing is I hooked up the hose underneath there, ran it outside to my 20-pound tank. That way I am not going to run out of fuel anytime soon. I got the thing going right now. I got this fan in behind it. Picked that up off from Amazon for like 30 bucks or so. It comes also with a light. As you can see, 4 different, you can't really tell during the daytime, but it's LED and it works really well. 4 different settings, and the fan also comes with 4 different settings, so I could use it in the summertime as well. But for the winter time, I have it so that it'll blow the heat, keep it away from the tent fabric itself, which it never has bothered. It does circulate very well. I know I get questions, and everybody's heard, don't use propane for fear of carbon monoxide in your tent. Well, I've been doing this for several years, and for me, I've never had an issue with it. I also have this, my carbon monoxide detector, just as an extra backup. So I have that in there. I got this, like I said, this stand is going to be able to also shelve. What I'll keep in there is my batteries for my equipment to keep it off the floor and keep it from freezing, because it loses life really quick in the cold. Also, make sure if you're going to run a system like this that you also have really good ventilation. I've got excellent ventilation here. I got ventilation up here, and it cross drafts over to this vent, and I can actually feel it's getting a little breezy outside, so you can feel it coming through, and that again will give us some fresh air and not enough to cool it off. I've done some data research on personally, where I have run this at different temperatures to see what outside versus inside with this particular heater. It's pushing 3,800 BTUs, and I want to make sure that to find out what temperatures work and what doesn't. So if it's 30 degrees out, you're gonna sweat to death unless you open up just about every vent in here, because it will heat you right out. I found the sweet spots right around anywhere from 10 to 15 degrees out. If you have that going, it will it'll keep it at between 60 and 65. Once it starts heading below zero, I got it down to 12 below zero a few weeks ago, and this thing could barely keep up. It kept it 36 degrees in here while it was still 12 below, so I guess that's still not too bad. But again, if you have a good sleeping bag, you'll be all right. But I run this. Some people shut it off during the night. I do not, because I do not like to wake up to cold. So, like I said, I've never had a problem with it. I've used it many times. Not to saying, just be real careful on the venting thing, and do have a detector as a backup. Just play it safe, and if you don't feel comfortable doing a setup like this, just don't. But for me, like I said, for me it's worked. I got my best friend is using the same exact setup, and he has used it several times as well, and we've had no issues. Just make sure that your ventilation is done well, and that you have a backup. So in a little bit, I just barely turned this on. I think it's like 20 degrees out right now. So within 15-20 minutes, it's going to be baking. I'm going to have to take off some outerwear here and get comfy. But I thought I'd share my setup with you, the heating setup. Later on tonight, I'll bring in some of my other goodies. When I say I like to live in comfort out in my tent when I'm away from home, I do just that. And I'll show you some of the other stuff that I bring from home to make it more like comfy, especially when you're out. Like, I like camping in New Hampshire state parks where you have, and there's only like 3 of them that are open during the wintertime, but we spend a lot of time at the one over in Lincoln. And it's really nice to have all those comforts of home. I get up in the morning, I'm able to have a hot chocolate or coffee, whatever you want, whatever your preference is. In here, it's warm, you wake up, you get outside, you go and you climb. You spend your day climbing with your buddies, you come back, we do campfires afterwards, and then we all head off to our own separate tents. We come in and we hang out. I'll read, or I'll even watch a movie. So like I said, I bring all the comforts from home just to make it feel more like home. Yeah, so if you're gonna tent, you might as well tent in style and have some fun while you're doing it, right? All right, so I'll catch up with you in a while. I'll show you some of the other stuff that I'm going to do. I'll show you a little bit more on the vestibule too. I got some comments that said in the tent review that I didn't cover enough with the size of the vestibule and how much room there actually is there, front versus back. So I'll cover that as well. Yeah, it sounds like it's getting a little breezy, but I'm going to hang out here tonight. It's supposed to get down near 5 degrees, which won't be nothing in here. It'll be beautiful in here. So, all right, catch up with you later. All right, so I'm going to cover some of the stuff that I actually bring into the tent for my gear for winter camping. I'll walk you through my Osprey pack. This is not the one I actually bring up the mountain. This is more just for the interior of the tent and all the goodies that I have to go with. All right, so as I open this up, I have a stand for my cooker. That's my cooking stove. I don't generally cook inside the tent. I'll throw that out in the vestibule to make sure that all the heat goes and the moisture stays out there. Especially if I'm boiling water, I don't want all that condensation in here. Let's see what else I got here. I got my propane for my jet boil. This is my MSR wind blower boiler. This thing's awesome. Right. That's for boiling water. And then I got my pan and my plate. My pan goes there. And such. I got my plate. What else do I got here? I got my socks. I always bring more than one pair of socks. I usually bring about 4. Just because. And then I've got my base layer clothing. Got my extra flashlight, or lantern rather. I'll use this one and I'll use this one over here to really keep things lit up. What else I got? I got my clock, and it also has a temperature gauge on it. Got my speaker for tunes. And then I've got my fan, which circulates the heat in here. Come on. There we go. It works just like that. Also, I got coffee filter. Then I have a whole bunch of battery packs to keep my electronics going. These things come in really handy for cell phones. I bring my tablet out. Excuse me. My tablet comes so I can watch movies. So I keep these battery packs down here. Then I got my cooking kit. cutting board, has all the utensils, salt, pepper, oil, detergent that washes the dishes. That way it can keep things clean. And, spatula, cheese grater, all kinds of good stuff in here. This is put out by GSI. A lot of the stuff I actually have is GSI. The cookware there's GSI. My coffee pot, or my coffee mug is GSI as well. They make great products. So that's pretty much it for what I'm gonna be bringing inside the tent. Like I said, I'll bring out my tablet, and at nighttime it's nice to be able to kick back and watch a movie, or read, whatever the case may be. But it's nice to have all these little luxuries. It's like bringing home into your tent. So if I'm going to be in a tent for several days, which is generally the case when we go up to the White Mountains and camp out, either by sledding in or by going to a campground, it's nice to have all the luxuries. And I'm telling you what, this is so nice. I love the sleeping bag. To be able to kick back, relax, and enjoy yourself. Actually, I've got one thing. Yes, real important. Making sure that I've got the carbon monoxide detector, and I stick that right up in there once I get the stove fired up, just to make sure that I'll get that extra layer of security to be safe. So that's about it for now. Yeah, enjoy your camping, man. Hope this helps. Okay, so thank you for joining me on this episode of getting to know the interior of my tent during a winter setup. So going forward, I'm going to be spending more of my efforts on building another YouTube channel with my best friend out there, Ben Rogers. We're going to be putting this together where it's going to be called Northeast Outdoor Adventures, and we're going to be focusing on camping, hiking, mountain climbing, kayaking, fishing, hunting. So there's going to be a lot of outdoor activities that we cover. I'm not going to give it all away. We still have all kinds of more stuff that we'd love to share with you guys, but I want to kind of keep that under wraps until we share it with you. So please join us. I'd love to have you join us. It's beautiful out today, and we really want to be able to take this opportunity to be able to share what we do with the outdoors and kind of invigorate everybody to get back out into nature and enjoy what is available to us. Yeah, I think that's just about it. God bless, and we'll see you in the mountains.